Hello and welcome to day 13. Today we're going to start. So, I remember when I first wrote this, I had, I think it was 2010 that I got the Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And in the, like Napoleon Hill shares like the secret, right? Like, and he tells you that you have to find the secret. And it's not just like one secret. I feel like in that book, it's almost like a blueprint of how to manifest. And something that a lot of people do not grasp, and all of us, because even me, it took me a long time to really understand the manifesting, magic. Now, when we are trying to manifest, if we are in a stale energy, you have to slowly work upon the energy so you could feel the emotions of what you are desiring. Because if you are desiring prosperity, but you're living in poverty, then you are not. It's going to be, I'm not going to say you're not going to manifest it because that would be a lie. Because I have manifested plenty of prosperity even when I was at my lowest, even when I felt at my lowest. I just say that it won't be a lot, like, and it won't be as quickly as maybe you want. Not to say I met one I will never forget. This was many, many years ago. I was talking to a lady. I used to play the lottery back then. And she was talking how she had just been kicked out of her house. She didn't have a lot of money to like get a new apartment. So she was just like really going through it. And she's like, screw it. I don't care. She went and she bought some scratch offs. And one of the scratch offs, she won $25,000. And she said, Lord, you always take care of me. But here's someone that had faith because she explained to me. She says, people don't understand. I have so much faith in God that I know that God is always going to pull me out of my own chaos. Because she says, the truth is, I put myself in that situation. I was supposed to have left there. I was supposed to have saved money to go to a better place, and I didn't. And eventually, it all blew up. But God still took care of me. So I feel like that is faith is an emotion and an energy. Because you could say I have faith, but it's not a have, it's an energy, it's a feeling. And the same thing goes for prosperity. Something that I have been doing is when I first lived in my mom's house, which was not a prosperous place, it was a lot of darkness, a lot of chaos. I created my sacred space. So I would go on my walks, my spiritual walks. I would connect with the trees, and we would exchange energies. I would go to Starbucks and I would open up my journal and I would just, share my gratitude. Everything was in gratitude, even though I had, this is my journal. So I'm going to write, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. But mainly I would focus on how happy I was because I would go there with my granddaughters. And if I look back today, look how strong this energy is. That I remember more of the good times that I spent there with my granddaughters. How we shared. They used to love the warm brownies with whipped cream, and I would just buy them frappuccinos or their cake pops, and we would be there hours, just kind of relaxing because so I would go to a happy place, because I didn't feel prosperous in my mom's house. But at Starbucks, I felt prosperous because I was in a coffee shop, we were drinking coffee, we were journaling, we were associating ourselves with people that were talking business. We always heard different people talking about businesses. So the energy was a high vibe, Now, I live in a luxury resort style apartment with a beach resort style pool, jacuzzis, arcades, tennis courts, basketball courts, So it's something that I'm starting to do is that I'm grabbing my journals and my books. This is one of my intentions for the New Year's. And I go on my little walks. I take my cute little canvas bags and I take all my stuff and I'll drink my coffee. They have coffee in the office. So if I don't bring it with me, I could go make me coffee. And I go in the pool and I'm just in a very vacation mode, very relaxed mode. Very, if I had $1 million in my bank, I would be living this way. So I'm doing this before the manifestation of my next big. So you have to, a lot of people say, I want to be a millionaire, but yet they don't make $20,000 a year. So I find, and I'm not telling you to do this, if you feel that you can manifest $1 million, go for it. I'm sharing you experiences from my experiences. I find it easier to manifest the next. So if you're at 30,000, manifest 60 or 50. You know what feels? Because like I said, it's an emotion. And if you feel that you can manifest this, then you will feel that you can manifest the next. Then that $1 million becomes a lot more feasible because you could feel it. Do you understand? I hope you're understanding what I'm sharing. And I always say the reason why I share this with you is no matter how ugly your surroundings are, and I'm not saying ugly by your paint's falling off, I'm saying ugly like the people around you, and maybe you're not living in a happy place, maybe you have negative people that you live with. Find a sacred space and make it your own. In my mom's house, I had my room. I created a vortex with crystals in the four corners and selenite, tourmaline, lapis lazuli, every crystal that I could find that transmuted into positive, snowy obsidian. And then I would change them, and I would do the washes that I do, always to create my room at a high frequency. And I remember my cousin, he would always tell me, he's like, Daisy, it's incredible. When I walk inside your room, it's almost like I'm walking in a completely different home. Like I'm no longer in your mom's house. And it's because of that, because I work on the energy so vigorously. Excuse me. So no matter where you are, you create the energy. Maybe it's just one room. Maybe it's just one corner. Take a corner and make it a rich corner. Put pictures on the walls that say, that talk about your luxury life or your blissful life or your soulmate. Whatever it is you're manifesting, that's what you want around you. Because guess what? When you look at that, that's going to bring that positive energy, that positive vibration, and that's what you want to do. Then you want to use this. Oh, divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom, with which to make wiser uses of the riches you gave me at birth, consisting, and this is the important part, in the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. And I wrote, today is special. I always write today is special. Today is special. Every day is special. You will hear me repeat that often. Today you will write your intention, your goals, and your desires with a little twist. What are you offering in exchange for this desire? Now, this is something that I learned through Jim Rohn. And then Jim Rohn, I learned about Napoleon Hill and Schultz and just all the greats. Ike, like so many masters and teachers. And that's another thing. I surround myself with like-minded mentors that are doing greater than I am, that are going to inspire me. Very important. Example. Better health, I am offering a higher vibration to uplift the human energy. So if you want better health, your offer is, if I'm in a good space, I'm happy and I'm exchanging that energy. It says, buckle up. Our journey starts to intensify now and further through our days together. Directions for today. Rewrite the quote above below in your writing, followed by your intentions, desires, and goals in the offering for this request. Then it says, then throughout the day, read the quote 12 times. You can rewrite on a small paper to keep the quote near. I called it here a quote, but because I tend to start the days with a quote, but it's a prayer, because it says, oh divine providence. And divine providence is the blessing energy of the Almighty. I ask not for more riches. So he's expressing, he's not asking for more riches, but more wisdom. with which to make wiser uses of the riches you gave me at birth, expressing the faith that he knows that the divine already blessed his life, that all he has to do is tap into that energy. And this is the reason why Napoleon Hill's secret is so incredible, and that you really have to reread it and reread it to actually grasp. I talk to the angels, so they tell me. So it's a lot easier for me. But even when I first started, I didn't understand. I was like, what is this? This is too much. So I'm trying to break it down for you so you can really grasp what Napoleon Hill is sharing in his divine secret. You gave me this at birth, meaning you are blessed with all the manifesting tools from the moment that you walked into this plane. All you have to do is take control, because this is the next part. Consisting in the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire. Now, what happens? People watch a lot of TV. They listen to a lot of people. You're surrounded by people that are going to tell you that you're never going to achieve that you're never going to manifest this, that your life is this because of that if it's your husband, that is your wife, that is your mother, that is your father. They're just going to keep feeding you garbage. So Napoleon Hill says, you have the control. Take that control, because one of our blessings is free will. I think it's super funny. I get it all the time on my spiritual work, because yes, we do spells. Spells influence. Spells are an energy. But we could take that energy that has been sent to us and direct it into the black hole to be transmuted into positive energy or until Judgment Day. And when I feel my vibration is down, I usually grab a candle. I set the intention of unblocking, of clearing, of just getting rid of all that stale energy. I'll light it. I'll take a nice sea salt bath to really, really release and let go, because the water is magical. And then I'm always doing this prayer, for I always have control over my mind. I always have control over my actions. No matter what crap people try to send my way, the angels are like, no. They might put me in bed one day or two, or maybe a week. I've been sent to the hospital. Things happen. Things happen. There's really evil and ugly people out there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The worlds are peaches and creams and rainbows and unicorns, because that is a lie. But I will share with you how to manifest, how to overcome, and how to achieve true success. Now, you want to write what you are offering in exchange for your desires. Example, for my prosperity, I offer this. My teachings, my wisdom, my mediumship from spirit through me onto you. My books, I charge X amount of money, but I give you way more. Who has books anywhere with 30 videos and more, because I have meditations? This book is $10, $9.99. And with the book, I send you an email with 30 videos to using this amazing book to manifest all your intentions, all your dreams, all your hopes, and all your desires. And you could use this as many times and for as many intentions as you decide to do, as you decide to work towards. So this is one time that you get this and you could reuse over and over. This is something that I do for my prosperity, but I give you so much more than you give me. And then the beautiful part is that then I have other people who randomly send me gifts. I get tips all the time through my Etsy shop. I have my Cash App in some of the videos, and they'll Cash App me money for coffee. You guys gifted me my Nespresso machine. I put it out there that I was saving for an espresso machine because I wanted to make my coffee at home, because it's another luxury that I love. And you guys helped me achieve that. So All we have to do is create the desire and see what is the exchange, because everything has to have an exchange. I'm dropping little cards. Everything has to have an exchange. That's why a lot of people don't understand, especially in my line of work. I not anymore, but in the beginning, I would get people all the time. Can you give me a free reading? Can you do this spell for me? I even have people like, oh, I'm gonna write an article about you to see if your stuff really works. Just do the spell and then I'm gonna write the article. That's not how it works. Yes, I have worked with other people, and write articles and stuff like that. But if they're gonna write an article about you, they're gonna write an article about you. That's it. Um, so, and as I tell you here, because the energy is 12, because you're on your 12th day. And throughout the day, read the quote 12 times, and you can rewrite on a smaller paper to keep the quote near you. I recommend that you learn it by heart, because you're going to want to keep this energy and this vibration on you all the time. So keep the prayer near you. Learn it. It's in the book. Sorry, on day 13. It's in the book. See, it's right there. But I recommend that you rewrite it, keep it on you, and memorize it. Another thing, some of my beautiful manifestors, what they've done is they'll write the prayer, and right behind the prayer, they write the intention, what they're working on for those 30 days, and then they have it either in their wallet or in their pocket or wherever it is. I usually have my stuff in my journals or next to my bed, because that is my calm place. Once I become too relax and close the day, where do I go? I go to my bed, I watch TV, I meditate, and that's where I have all that magic. So I think that's it for day 13, and I give you a lot of room to write, and like I say, this is about you, this is about your journey. Keep this for yourself. I always tell people, don't share your stuff. Keep it in between your mattress. If you have nosy people around you, keep it in between your mattress, hide it underneath the pillows. That way nobody reads your intentions and your desires, especially if you're not in the best space. I will see you all on day 14.